once again that what I feel is real. I could cry. I could smile. I might lay back.
Inside the Turner Gymnasium on the campus of Westminster, the Westminster School, Joel Hilton, Marcus Burnett, SUV TV's coverage of Grassroots United middle school workout, 5th grade through 8th grade, and we are in our ball handling drills and in our early prep work. A lot of names with numbers, and of course, few know the names.
Yeah,
we're learning them, but sometimes that's what makes it fun, sitting back and observing and just kind of seeing the natural ability and see who stands out to you.
I totally agree, man. And then just factoring in, I think a lot of times when you look at that 5th through 8th grade range, you find a lot of people trying to find that happy medium between being able to help these players develop and push them, but then also realize the age that they're at and not overdoing it when it comes to those types of elements. So I think this type of setting is perfect because you're factoring in this phase of their development, how early it is, but it's never too early to start being able to develop certain acumen and just certain points that we're seeing this training staff hammer home here today.
And then a lot of things with the 8th graders, they're really rising 9th graders. So that's really that caveat there. So you got a 5th grader who's a rising 6th grader and an 8th grader who's a rising 9th grader. And just developing, and the training staff, as we know from Grassroots United, they know a little bit about basketball.
Most definitely. I mean, you're looking at a Desmond Eastman there, Coach ABC. You're looking at Mark Edwards. You got Coach Rob there on the floor as well. You got a Phil Taylor who naturally just teaches the game after playing it, but he's still playing overseas ball and one of the highest scorers there in the league that he plays in. So, I mean, just a ton of coaching talent, and that's not an exhaustive list. See, we got a couple other gentlemen out there, but just a lot of basketball savvy and expertise there on the floor. Even had Mr. Shut Up and Train open things up with a dose of let's work.
I think that was outstanding as well. So they've been in the ball handling drills. And Coach Eastman.
So he's telling, and some of the audio you guys will be able to chime in on. We'll go in and out, but he's telling us the campers to find somebody that they're not that acclimated with. Like, you got a couple guys, you had the teammates, the guys they played against. He's making sure he's making a point for them to find somebody that they're not that familiar with.
Yeah, you do have a lot of guys that come from teams that are put together, working out. And you have some freestylers who don't have a team, and then you have the neighborhood kids that know each other.
So in this set of drills, it's focused on the ball handling. Some of the things that have been hammered home are being able to not only work in that opposite hand, work on your weaker hand, being able to protect the ball, which you're going to see focused on a little bit more in this drill in terms of not only the defensive player having to stay in front and pushing the ball handler, but they've also hammered in on playing with pace. And you've seen each of the ball handling drills sort of lead up to this particular drill.
Number 4, Isaiah Collier right there on defense. He's one of the names to know. 7th grader, also a talented football player. There'll be a lot of names to know. Right here, big number 44, Chancey Wiggins, out of the Conyers area.
Nice wingspan and height to not have seen the halls of a high school officially yet. I mean, you're looking at the some of the ball handling and defensive drills going on here, but aside from just the X's and O's or the on-court elements that they've been able to touch on, I think it's been some elements that they've touched on that might not be putting the ball on the floor, but help. For example, they talked about guys being attentive to the coaching staff and locking in, and if a guy's not doing so, they're not going to make him run a lap or do push-ups. It's going to be the rest of the camp, sort of enforcing you know, the self-policing aspect is going to be valuable for these players as they continue on to the next level.
And you know, we see it a lot in the live period as far as what do college coaches look for. It's those small things that you mentioned right there. Attention to detail. Are you hustling to the ball? Are you hustling when the whistle is brought in for the meet?
Solid number 39 there, having to go back through that drill. Was able to attack it. There were what the coaching staff was looking for, but yeah, I mean, you touched on it just in terms of what's being looked at. Mark Edwards and Desmond Eastman sort of talked about the fact that from a scouting standpoint, the technology, the tools available, whether it's an SUV TV, whether it's a video game breakdown after the fact of a broadcast, the film is seeing what you can do in terms of putting the ball in the hole and defending. They can see that. There's a wealth of resources out there when it comes to that. Being able to know your character, you know, how you treat your teammates, how you do certain things when nobody's around, how you've treated different people that you've interacted with from this point in your life all the way up. Just emphasizing how a lot of those draft picks, a lot of those guys playing at various levels, you don't see how that homework is being done, whether it's private investigators or the teams doing their due diligence. So hammering that point home, and it's good because whether you don't play a single NBA minute or not, being able to treat people with a certain level of decency, being a good teammate, having a certain character, it goes a long way.
Gotta go hard. We was talking about number 39. That's little Jalen Whitley. He caught my eye when he got in the gym. He might be the shortest thing in the gym, but as you know, with the rest of the Georgia hoop circle, can't measure that heart.
Cannot. You know, I liken it to plenty of smaller framed ball players. You see him right there.
Just with the blow by. Oh, he just pulled it back on him to have some fun with it.
But, you know, I liken it to we talked about the upcoming CP3 Rising Stars camp that we'll have on SUV TV in August. And, you know, you look at it, Chris Paul, he was that guy that was the shortest player in the gym coming up. And was that guy that instead of just being the shortest player, he was also the one that was in there working with and trying to outwork guys that were much older than him, much bigger than him. And, you know, he was able to do it at that younger level. You see him working now in the Western Conference Finals as he's made his first Western Conference Finals and has those sights set on a potential championship.
Amir Hicks here right in front of an outstanding defense, really kind of giving the business to Rodney Donaldson. They are two Celtic teammates, so it could be a little bit more there than meets the eye.
Yeah, man. Teammates able to push each other sometimes in a way not even competitors can. Just because a lot of that work to even get ready for the competition is going to be against your teammates. You want to be able to push each other. Remember coming up, I'm sure you've had a colleague or a teammate that you played against, and those are some of the grittiest and most intense matchups because you know his weaknesses, he knows yours. He's going to sit on that left hand and force you to get better with it.
And the ones where you wind up having a fight after. That's what that is.
Nice little defensive sequence there for number 50.
The length right here in front of us, 74 and 46. That's 8th graders.
8th graders.
Seeing a lot of bodies fall on the floor. I'm feeling the energy kind of pick up just a little bit.
And what's good about it is if there are no mess ups or any sort of faults or setbacks of any kind when you're going through these drills, you can't possibly be going hard enough or pushing yourself enough. So I think, like you said, you're seeing some bodies hit the floor. You're seeing a couple balls go loose. You're seeing some different things happen. That's all part of the beauty of the process. Can't possibly be pushing yourself if you don't see some of those elements.
Marcus Burnett, Joel Hilsman, Grassroots United Middle School, from 5th through 8th grade. Glad that you're with us. It is a dip down into the future, a deep, deep dip. You can actually say all the way down to class of 2025. That will be your current 5th graders, 2025.
Any youngsters that might be watching this drill, having to hold that towel really puts a premium or focus on being able to beat your defender to a certain spot and really being able to move your feet. You don't have that wingspan and those hands fully extended, which you will normally have in a situation. So here in this instance, having your hands controlled there really puts the emphasis on moving your feet and beating that defender to a spot.
And you hear Coach Dez, who's always loud, beat him to the spot, move your feet.
That right there is number 35 and 40. There, that was, let's see, number 35 is still getting some of the numbers here on the Grassroots side of things.
Keaton George, number 35. Kenton George, I apologize. Intensity. You know, sometimes you just let the sound speak for itself.
Exactly. Great point right there. See being made. I'll make it quickly so we can hear that natural sound, but focus on never letting the defender run alongside you. he's alongside you, you got an advantageous position you can take advantage of.
And that is Malachi Brown, Buford Middle, and part of Nike South, who is number 11 being used in this demonstration and in this drill.
Key point there on the defensive end. So say you're that defensive player in a position where you're on the side of a player, you're being shielded off by the ball handler. Clear out and reset your defense in terms of being able to get past them, even if you got to create a little bit of a little bit of buffer room in order to be able to get back in a defensive position. That's much better than running alongside a heady guard, because a heady guard is going to either turn that into really kind of taking you out of that play defensively, or being able to make you pick up a cheap foul.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see it. It will pick up.
Or how the staff really taking opportunities to kind of not only engage the players, but really kind of have the players approach this like a game-like situation.
Trying to play with the ball there a little bit. He has good size. Mikael Grant, 8th grader, number 46. Here comes Isaiah Collier here. Dunked it home. All that length. Malik Ewing. What you say? 6'5", 6'6"?
I say at least 6'5".
Long wingspan and arms as well.
I mean, dunk that with true ease.
Ease, yes. Chancey Wiggins, 44, going up against a battle of the guards.
Talking about playing with pace. Number 38 right there. You saw him switch the pace up a little bit there.
Kevin Savage. It's the change of pace, but then you also got to make sure as you get older, you develop. Once you get him beat, go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, and this is where he switched the pace up right here around that half-court line, and it was a good change. Then he got to a point to where it was less pace, and it was more, like you said, playing with your food, so to speak.
Oh, you broke out the Jaylen Brown, did you? Early.
Oh, I forgot that reference. Talk about the Jaylen Brown reference as you just mentioned.
I mean, you know, it's very simple. A lot of people might not understand it, but listen, if you could not relate to it, if you did not understand that illustration, I'm sorry.
Right.
You know, Jaylen, they say, well, it was up 3-0. I was taught not to play with my food. You know, I know what playing with my food got me growing up. You know, so yeah.
And what's great about this type of setting is that, again, you like to see the kids that are at a certain level, a certain point of development, even though they still have plenty of room to go. But at the same time, you like to see some of the challenges and some of the hurdles, or I guess the blocks that they run into, because that's what allows them to work through and to get better.
And you're running into more competition.
Exactly.
Your old age or a little bit younger. We saw Kyle Burns make a good move as he came down.
finish there too.
Beat him, and then I love that left hand on the left side.
Oh, it's like that story Magic Johnson said about his high school tryout. It was packed wall to wall, as most high school basketball tryouts are going to be. So coach said, man, I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and trim this down right out of the gate. Opposite hand layups. You miss. Appreciate you coming out this year, but can't make this squad.
Would you been able to do that in your day? Okay, yeah. I
had to.
I never knew what it was like not to be able to do that. Whoop. The length. You mentioned that Jalen Hilliard here on defense. Chapel Hill, 7th grader, going up against Ethan Richards. So Richards, both of them, in that Game Elite program. Grassroots United Junior, that's a rip. Give me the cookies. I'm sorry, I'm talking about something we're not looking at. I apologize. That's Richards there, as you saw, Richards and Hilliard, as they just finished right there on this end. Charlie Ressman on defense now. And Malachi Brown works on it. Ressman kicks back into the play. Malachi scores. Good work done. Like how 56 there did not give up. Not running beside, but I'm going to beat you to that spot. And then got the block defensively on the other end. Work hard. Hesitation. Started reaching a little bit. Put it up off the window. Jet Horn, defensively number 8, as they came down on that last rotation. Blew the layup on that side. LaVon Williams, good size though. And as we mentioned, you're gonna see that hustle and gonna see some mistakes. Growth and development and about getting better. Got the hoodie action going on today. Jatori Brown, 65, with the hoodie. Nice layup, couldn't finish though. Tried to up and under step. Not there for for R.J. Dean, 8th grader. Come back this way, Rodney Donaldson missed the J. Flip sides of the floor. Step through and finish. That was a little shake and shimmy there. Seeing how they are improving their games. Wound up taking the jumper there. Malachi Brown took a jumper down on this end as well. Long athleticness of these young 8th graders there. Again, that's that Malik Ewing, Chauncey Wiggins matchup. Pairings have been interesting as well. Ethan Richards and Jalen Hiller again. Took the contact this time. So we saw Williams went too far the last time, so this time he comes back, goes a little harder and uses a little bit of a body. There's a nice score on this end. It's literally end-to-end action. Nice 1-2 step layup off the window. Jarius Griffin, number 50, had that nice layup just a moment ago. Seeing some good contest defensively.
Most definitely. Seeing good contest defensively, seeing guys really focused on finishing. And then again, I just keep throwing in the caveat that at the age they're at, you hear the coaching staff emphasizing how they need to finish. Focus on the execution. That's an important part of it, but you know, you got some of these moves that are being made by 5th and 6th graders, and while you want them to finish, you see them putting in the work to be able to do so. But for them to be at a point to where they're creating some of these opportunities, it's impressive at their age.
Coach Edwards just reminded them of what they wanted them to do with the drill. One-on-one full court.
Kind of giving them a less is more reminders. And
Exactly.
I need to see 15, 20 moves, doing all that extra.
Give me your scoring move is what Coach Mark Edwards is saying. Patel working defensively again. But gives up the layup to his partner, Christian Jackson, number 3. So Patel on Jackson matchup. Right here as they come back full court. And here Patel, with the little bump. Here comes the full court drill this way.
Able to use that side to get inside, can't get the shot to go. Getting a good shot on goal there.
Michael defensively though. They done broke out the chairs. Coach Eastman now giving the instruction. Everybody was about to move a little too quickly. What you and I were talking about earlier, listening. Now coach is calling them out by class. 7th graders. Let's see how 6th and 5th graders, 7. 8th grade. So a good mix, just me looking at it. What's the word I'm looking for when you look at, just glancing at it, looking at the numbers of between, they got 5th and 6th together, 7th and 8th.
Yeah.
Or separate.
Yeah, I mean, man, if you're a 5th grader here in this building, man, I mean, obviously you're
a 6th grader too.
Yeah, I mean,
you on that low end, the 5th and the 6th, 7th and 8th, you kind of, especially 8th, because you're going to 9th grade next year. With it being this late, you know, in the school calendar.
Yeah, exactly.
And you start looking at date of birth because, you know, you really could be an 11-year-old in here right now, technically with a 14-year-old.
Yep. Like you said, that time of year, I remember back during that Miller Grove doc when they had went to Dick's Nationals, and they had went at that point in April to where, you know, state championships have been played and won there in that case. So really, he told his teammates, or he told his team that if you're a freshman this year, and you're still thinking and looking at it like a freshman, you're late in the game. You know what I'm saying? That season's already done. So now freshman, you got to level up to a sophomore. Sophomore, you got to level up to a junior, so on and so forth. Like you're mentioning with these grades. You know, you're an 8th grader, but that mindset has to already be turned towards 9th grade, towards freshman year, towards, you know, towards freshman ball, and so on and so forth for the different levels.
Here's an example here of separating. So they just sent a 6th grader or 7th grader. What's Malachi? Don't have his grade. He just got moved up to some 8th graders.
Love this drill. Emphasizing that V-cut, moving without the ball, also being aggressive on the catch, and being able to finish.
Give it to him early, 2 dribbles. again, we talk about the small things. Why does it need to be a straight line? So you know who's next. That leads to the pass. Once you get your pass, you get cut, you come to the top. And then emphasize, why do you tuck? We see that more and more. Protecting. 2 dribbles, boom, boom. You don't need 3 and 4 dribbles.
Exactly.
And then the thing is, give it to him early. You got the good pass. Yep, there's the V cut, and we heard to pay attention. Some people forget not to go down and come back up. That's what makes it a V.
And you talked about being able to get the ball early, as you see the camp staff emphasizing that as well. One of the things I used to love coming up was watching Ron Mercer and how he would work off of that curl there at Kentucky.
Well, you brought up a name now, didn't you?
But if he doesn't get that ball in the pockets and in the timing that he needs to, he's not able to really do what he's doing off the curl. And for anybody, I know the youngsters, they're probably going to say Ron Mercer. Unless you have a youngster and your parents will probably mention that name and you've seen that, these youngsters might not know who Ron Mercer is. But I tell you what, look up some of that footage.
YouTube, yeah.
And check out his usage of the curl, and you'll see not only a great ability to move without the ball, be aggressive on the catch, but look at where those passes were in order to give him the ball in a spot where it was most conducive for him scoring like he was able to.
Coach Rob under the basket here doesn't have the pad like Coach Edwards do.
Coach making it count.
Look, it is a hard foul. You go take this contact, you are going to go through the contact.
Love it. Love it. Drilling like that makes finishing through minimal and even beyond minimal contact makes that an expectation. Ref gives you a foul call, cool, you'll take the and one, but you're not looking for it.
Nice. Get the finish down here. Both ends. Coach Rob now, he didn't hit me, but now he's reaching with the hands.
Right. I got to give you some resistance. I got to offer some resistance.
Like Patel, we was having a conversation about him before we went on air. And here, Patel, and I'm seeing the flashes and liking it. Nice, Malachi. I thought he was going to finish that.
Like how
He
Mark
just tried to dunk that?
Yes, he did. Like how Mark Edwards, he's varying the contact also. He's not just giving them a little strip across the arm. He's coming across the face, coming across the chest, coming across the body, just giving them resistance in multiple ways. Same way you'll face it in a game.
And trying to block stuff and telling you he's blocking it. So now, this is the thing with me now, if you see this is what he's been doing, then you know you got to go up and finish a little stronger. Exactly. I don't think sometimes they're paying attention because that's part of the drill. Yep. I don't know about you. You want to win the drill too.
Plain and simple. You want to be able to finish the drill, and that's part of where coming out in this type of setting at the end of the day. You know, we talked about guys being at that point in the year to where you can look at them at the next grade, but 5th through 8th grade. If you're not put in this type of setting to have you focusing on the little things, being in a solid line, eyes up, ball still when the coach is being able to give instructions, finishing the drill. If you're not put in this type of setting, that's how you go up and finish, big man. There on this right side. That was number, I get his number as soon as he turns around. I believe that's 46. Yep, that was number 46 there on that flush.
Mekhi Grant. So he's made a couple plays. Once again, the mindset. This is an 8th grader. You could be looking possibly at varsity minutes next year.
Exactly. So now same drill, the variation. adding the Euro into the mix and emphasizing the point of bringing the ball over the top, they're on that Euro.
Just talking about the transition, you talk about being in this setting. Now the Euro step is a drill in a setting.
Speaking of Euro, I mean, you've got a lot of basketball played at various levels by this coaching staff. A guy like Phil Taylor, who's putting that Euro step to work in Europe as a guy that's playing overseas ball there, able to add that little training wrinkle there to get guys to focus on it, because that's what's been, I guess, the gift and the curse with the Euro. It's a great move to use in the right setting, but you've seen guys dedicated to Euroing just for the sake of Euroing and not necessarily executing it properly or also using it in the right situation. So,
and I'm harbour back to you on the coaching staff. We take a look there at Coach Desmond Eastman. This is our second Grassroots. I mean, what do you like about his approach and how he handles these settings?
I mean, I think it's just a combination of things. I mean, first of all, it might seem like a Captain Obvious point, but the knowledge and the feel for the game is something that should come basic in a trainer. But I think you can pull up social media and you'll see several instances to where, even though that's an assumption that you would make for every trainer, you see a lot of things on the web that aren't, it's like they're not really based on true basketball knowledge and basketball acumen. So I think that jumps off the page with the Coach Eastman and the staff here. But then also being able to make relatable points that the players understand and being able to relay it in a way to where they get it and it hits home. So I think how he conveys a lot of the different tactics, does a great job of relaying it to game situations, but also at levels that they can understand. Then I think it's truly, you start to see that element to where he's going to sweat just as much as the players that he works out. And you see that a lot with the Mark Edwards as well, to where, you know, kind of takes the workout personally, to where if he doesn't feel you're getting better at the end of that workout, then it's almost to where he didn't do his job, and what's the point of doing it? So I think that sheer love of the game and love for making players get better at their craft, I think that comes through a lot.
And he and I talked to it because, you know, from our first Grassroots session, we were on the NBA floor teaching NBA elements to the game. So he and I got to talked about the age group and the age size. He likes to, and he immediately told me, I don't like to go too young. I don't want to give them too much that they can't retain. So now here it is, now in the middle school element, right there, that, you know,
Yep.
And you mentioned it earlier, you know there's going to be mistakes. I mean, if you're watching this and you think you're going to see some crisp stuff, no, you got to develop.
Exactly.
Hence, Grassroots.
Exactly.
And myself, even personally, you and I here, we see that there's a split. I've been gravitating to the older group because, you know, we could have them on SUV TV. But then this group here, next year, they might be the group that we're, so it's just about the development and seeing. I've seen a couple of players come out and they messed up on their first try, then they came back on the second one. I've seen guys that did it on their first one, so they thought the second time it was going to be nice and cool, and it wasn't. Growth and development.
Quality reps. You know, and getting quality reps in a setting to where they're doing every drill, they're doing it at game speed. Mm-hmm. It's not just, you know, reps and putting the time in and the work. Yeah, that's important, but I think the speed at which you do it with
very much
makes all the difference.
Very much. Game speed. We see Grant finish again. He's having himself a pretty good day. McCain Grant, number 46. And in the Euro, you can tell some who may be accustomed to it and some who may not. Who was that we just saw in the NBA that did a Euro that surprised a lot of us this week? Oh my, it escapes me.
I can't think of it either.
But you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Somebody did it this past week and a half ago, and you're like, they did a Euro. And it's not the fact that it was a Euro, it was them.
Them doing a Euro, right, man.
Oh.
Can't think of it, man. Been watching so much playoff basketball.
I know. I hate bringing up something and then can't finish it. That's the bug. You know?
It'll come to us in about 2 minutes when we're not trying to think of it.
Exactly. Little float right there by Malachi Brown. And you know what also? We have not had a water break.
Yep.
You're going to play through it.
Yep. Play through. I think the first water break scheduled for 1. I believe that conditioning element a part of it as well.
Mm-hmm. That's another 55 minutes, bro. And since we are at the top of the hour, Grassroots United Jr. from Atlanta, Georgia, the Westminster School. For the life of me, boy, I always want to put that other I in Westminster.
Stay here in the Turner Gym, and the young fellas good to be working out here in the air-conditioned facility.
Yeah, it is a little chilly. A little chilly. Do you like a chilly gym or a hot gym?
Man, I would say I'd almost prefer a hot one a little bit more.
Yeah, I think I want to feel that sweat a little bit.
I'm cool because the sweat's gonna come regardless.
Yeah.
But I would much rather have that sweat going because that means I'm in a mode to where I'm ready to roll. I'm good and loose. Versus it being cold. I mean, I'm playing ball. I'm not watching TV, so I don't need comfort to be maximized like that. And really, I'd much rather be sweating and hot than still trying to warm up. So I'll take a gym that's not too hot. Obviously, certain humidity and certain things is gonna be a little bit different. But I'm sure the parents that are here supporting their kids, I'm sure they're thinking, man, look, we'll take an AC, a gym with AC all day.
All day, they will.
We're not on the floor getting better. We're watching our sons get better. So we'll take the AC. We're already sacrificing. And one of the first things Mr. Shut Up and Train said there as he started the session, make sure to tell these players to thank their parents, the ones putting in time to get them here, and really investing in them being able to participate in this game.
Coach Edwards, I love always how he goes hard, showing that hard jump stop. And that's one of the moves, one of my favorite moves is growing up. I always remember Jamie Brandon did it. LSU, that's back in the days when I, didn't have much TV. You saw Jamie Brandon do it. But I always tell refs, as long as both feet land, it's not a walk.
Right.
Then if you go with the pity pat, but I love seeing how the game is just, I don't like to say evolved. I don't like to say that, but how now some things are common nature. The Euro step, the jump stop. Now the protecting and the cuffing of the ball.
Right.
We see Marcus Watson at Buford a lot. We consider him maybe a running back when he comes down and does that.
Most definitely, man. Yeah, I gotta say, if I'm the Buford football coach, man, I'm dropping by homeroom every week. Are you sure?
I'm gonna just say good luck. That's what I'm gonna say. Sixth grader making a move there, Coach Rob. I don't think he realized that weight was coming. Nice jump stop, hard, long right there. But that's a part of the growth. We've said it sometimes, $1 million move, 10-cent shot. So you got the move down, now finish it.
Yep. You see, with every guy misses a bunny, guy misses a layup, every time they miss, you hear the coaching staff saying, hey, gotta finish.
I like that.
Gotta finish, gotta make that.
And just looking at the development on both angles, you got mainly 5th and 6th graders here. Our advantage, that's what you're looking at right now. This is the 5th and 6th grade group. Then on the other end is your 7th and 8th grade group. And you can just tell what age does. The hop with 2 feet. There's the whistle. Let's see. What's next from Coach East? Uh-oh.
Great point being emphasized here by Phil Taylor, talking about it's not just a spin move, you have to spin tight. Talking about not only being able to use that tight spin because the spin is about more than just beating that defender that's on you. You got to be able to factor in those help defenders that are coming. A wide spin is just going to make that ball that more susceptible to getting poked away.
Marcus, it's almost like a point Coach Preston makes. When you get the ball with 2 feet in the paint, there's no need to put it down. Okay, because you allow the defender to help. So you can have a great spin move and go too wide.
Very much.
Excellent point there by Phil. And we see one of the best in the conductor, Ashton Hagens, in the way his spin move is there.
He sets his spin move up great. He sets his spin move up very nicely. And if you're going to challenge, you're going to have to challenge him at the rim. There's not going to be any getting to that ball when with the way that he spins tightly and keeps the ball tight. So he's able to tuck and finish or be able to drop it off.
Nice spin now. We're seeing the tight spins.
And then when you just think about it, the tighter that spin can become, the better, because there's always that blind spot second in your spin move to where, yeah, you size up the situation before you go to execute that move, but there's always going to be a small blind spot there as you're completing that spin move. So the tighter you are, the much better position you're going to be in to be able to protect and finish.
And, you know, we're talking about it. We're looking down here at the 5th and 6th grade. I'm impressed with their tightness on their spins. I watched the several rotations of them. I got caught because I wanted to see one thing in the age group, the consistency of it. So I got caught down here on this end, which you're looking at the 5th and 6th grade end, on the tightness of the spin, and I'm seeing a high finish rate.
Like what we're seeing from the camp group here so far, I mean, when you think about it, you know, it's a lot going on. I think it says a lot for the kids that have come out to this camp. There's a lot going on this weekend.
Don't get us started on that. I want to stay away from that. Because, see, let's see. We can count, what, 20 people in here? That's fine. Because somebody, we'll be seeing them soon. And that's the point of Grassroots Unite. So the last series finishing up before heading to a break. Good tight spin. Oh, and the contact. See, oh, you know what? Without that contact, I think he finishes. Yep. He may learn with that one. And Coach Edwards is popping them now, which way he's been popping them all day. He will have a good lather going on in just a minute. So let's see what it is now. Grassroots United Junior. And it is a break right here. So we will take it with them. SUV TV's coverage of the Grassroots United Junior right here in Atlanta, Georgia, and Westminster School.
He'll come off the double screen to the left. Oh, and wide open underneath. Sexton goes step back, fade away three. Oh, my goodness. Colin Sexton. In the lane by Tracy. Here's Williamson, makes his way around one tight. Now hustling in toward the lane and throws it down. That's what the crowd had been waiting on. A fantastic dunk coming in by Williamson. Trent, off balance jumper. Nailed it. Pierre to Gary Trent Jr. Oh, my goodness. That's how you end the game, folks.